This week in tech has been a crazy one, and I'm going to keep you updated in under 10 minutes. All right, let's just get right into it. By the way, this is a perfect video to watch if you're enjoying your Friday afternoon and you want to hear the latest tech updates. Just put it on in the background, listen to the audio, and then kind of multitask. All right, it was pretty busy. Let's get right into it. First up is around hardware. There has been rumors swirling about what Apple will announce this year, and one thing that Bloomberg has recently reported on is that Apple is planning to debut completely redesigned Mac Minis that will feature the M4 and M4 Pro models. But I think why this is such a big deal is it's important to note that the Mac Mini will be the first major design change to the machine since 2010. I mean, this is going back 14 years. Also, it's important to note that this is Apple's smallest ever desktop computer. Now, I've tried many of Apple's different computers and offerings. You know I'm an Apple fan, and I'm actually really excited for this. This is something I think I might look into getting. What about you? All right, now let's get into a little bit more drama tech, if you will, starting with OpenAI. And I mean, they've been in the news for both good things, bad things recently. Recently, it feels like, well, it's kind of been imploding. Now, I know it hasn't been, but when you're a viewer looking from the outside in, a lot of the news articles around OpenAI recently haven't been that positive. And I mean, it really doesn't help them with this recent news that 3 of their founders, co-founders, one has taken a break or an extended leave, and 2 have left the company. In particular, 1 has left the company for Anthropic. Now, Anthropic is the founder of Claude. If you haven't used Claude, in my opinion, you are missing out. I use Claude on a daily basis. I don't even use ChatGPT anymore. Claude is where it's at. I think so many people are feeling this way based on social media, what we are seeing on the internet. It just gives such better and more accurate results. That's as someone who uses it a lot for coding, writing, creativity kind of things. Now, aside from OpenAI's founders leaving, or some of the co-founders leaving, there's been some interesting things. I think OpenAI knows that it's a little bit in trouble with a little bit interest going to other areas, especially Anthropic or Claude. And here is what Sam Altman recently tweeted about. So he goes, "I love summer in the garden." Now, a lot of people are speculating that this means ChatGPT 4.5 is coming out. You can see in the photo there are 4 strawberries and another half-developed one. So this is a sign people are saying for GPT 4.5. I definitely think this is the case. I mean, otherwise it's an extraordinarily random photo, and there's always a backstory to these photos. Now, the anticipation over the next iteration of ChatGPT has been long awaited. I'm really curious how they will roll this out. There is so much expectation for them to perform. I mean, they were the leader for so long. I really think they're kind of going down, if you will, right now as a leader. On one hand, I'm curious, are they going to really try and pull all their resources together and make this a massive launch, which might succeed, might push the boundaries a little too far, or play it relatively safe? So here is some rumors about the project. They are saying, internal documents leaked apparently are saying to the outlet described, or the model described as Strawberry, it is a model that enables the company's AI to not just generate answers to queries, but to plan ahead enough to navigate the internet autonomously and reliably to perform what OpenAI terms deep research. This would set itself apart in so many levels. That is one of my biggest frustrations when I'm using these different platforms, is that it can't just scour the internet readily as we are having a conversation. There are so many times that I want it to be in real time, or plan ahead, as they're saying. And of course, it's trained on data to a certain point. So if they're able to pull this off, I think it would be a huge win. I'm really curious to see. Now, some other outlets for this are saying that Strawberry would be a breakthrough, that's what this GPT 4.5 is now being called, in achieving the first AGI, artificial general intelligence. AGI as we know it today is not something that exists or that we are aware exists. And if they are able to do that, it definitely would put them back on top of the leaderboard. All right, coming in at number 3 is Nvidia. Nvidia has been in the news a lot recently for positive things, but as of this past week, there's been some not so positive things about it. Now, to start off with, I love Nvidia. It's probably one of my favorite companies. I think one of their co-founders, Jensen, he is just brilliant. I really love the company and what they stand for. But they are having a little bit of issues right now. There are reports that they have delayed their next AI chip due to a design flaw. So check this out. Nvidia has reportedly told Microsoft that its Blackwell B200 AI chips will take at least 3 months longer to produce than was originally planned. Now, they aren't saying, of course, what the reasoning for this is or what is going on, but but it does bring a lot of curiosity around the company. And I mean, I don't know where it's at as of this minute, but I know it did affect the stock a tiny little bit, so it's very interesting. Now, I've never personally been to this next one we're going to talk about. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I've been to this company, but I've never experienced, it's more popular in the States from my understanding, whereas now these companies are offering AI drive-thrus. And in particular, Taco Bell just recently announced that they are looking to expand the use of AI voice technology in its drive-thrus. Now, this has people very mixed in reactions. Some people are saying, wow, this is amazing. You get really personalized responses. It's automated. We're using tech in a good way. The other side, no surprise, is, well, it's affecting jobs. With AI being integrated into these roles, once it gets to a certain point that it's good enough, or I mean, apparently it already is, as Taco Bell is using it, humans who are doing these jobs won't be needed, or at the very least, less of them will be needed. Now, another company that has been considering or working through a lot of challenges with using AI in drive-thrus is McDonald's, and they are working in partnership with IBM for a voice ordering solution for a drive-thru. So this is really interesting to me. I think it's at this really interesting time in our lives in history where we're seeing technology, in particular AI, firsthand is something that is really affecting all industries. I mean, even a few months ago, even a year ago, having the idea of having an automated voice system for when you go through fast food drive-thrus, we would have thought that's terrible. It's not going to be personalized enough. And now here we are. I'm curious to get your take though. Does this bother you? Will you be impacted, or will you be frustrated when you go through the drive-thru and you're speaking to technology? I do think it's going to very quickly get to the point where we won't even be able to tell. All right, ending this video, I want to give a big shout out to a really interesting GitHub repository. I'm kind of been going down a rabbit hole recently, looking at different GitHub repositories that I find interesting to find, inspiration again, build different things. The one I found this week, which I think is really cool to check out, is called Cog Video. Cog Video X, and what it does is it's a model that you can download, start building with, and it will turn text to video. And I've seen the results of it. I haven't tinkered around with it fully yet, but it looks super interesting, very easy to get started. I'll link it down below as well if you want to. It's not sponsored or anything like that. I just think it's really cool. And I'll make sure to always include a really interesting GitHub repository at the end of every tech news video. Speaking of which, if you have any suggestions for cool repositories, leave them in the comments. And on that, tech news this week is done. Let me know if you like these style of videos, and I'll see you all next week. Oh, hit the subscribe button.